Welcome to the world of OLIDENT professional dental materials. You will find out what makes OLIDENT products special, how to use them, and how they can change your everyday work. OliSil PUTTY XS is an automatically mixed asilicone impression material in a true putty consistency for both impression techniques. OliSil PUTTY XS is available only in the Maxi Mix cartridge to be used in a machine. Automatic mixing guarantees a homogeneous material without air bubbles, as well as ensures clean and fast application on a tray. However, if such a need occurs, it can also be formed with your fingers. Many materials available on the market claim to have snap-set properties, but this effect is almost perceptible when taking an impression with OliSil PUTTY XS. When a tray is placed in the patient's mouth, the resistance of the material is minimal, which indicates that the consistency remains constant throughout the entire working time. Polymerization accelerates once the material has been placed inside the oral cavity. A true snap-set effect means fewer micro-movements and a more precise impression, which is particularly valuable when it comes to one-step impressions. Thanks to its high material memory, OliPutty XS is resistant to deformations when removing the impression from the oral cavity. Optimal elasticity combined with high final hardness allows for repeated model casting without deformations and without losing dimensional stability. OliSil Hydro is an extremely fine-flowing asilicone correction impression material for use in all impression techniques. Its versatility and reliability have made it one of the most trusted impression materials on the market. OliSil Hydro is a premium impression material which combines two seemingly distant features: flowability and stability. It is highly flowable during application, but at the same time, it does not flow down the preparation site and does not drip. If necessary, it is enough to apply a small force, for example blow air from the unit, to ensure that the material reaches the desired place. The result is an extremely detailed impression followed by perfectly matched prosthetic restorations. OliSil Hydro displays excellent adhesion to moist surfaces of teeth and the mucosa. The pressure buildup displaces residual water and saliva, and the hydrophilic properties of the material ensure that it flows into even the most inaccessible places. This guarantees highly precise reproduction of details, especially with regard to subgingival areas. Hydrophilic properties are perfectly illustrated by the so-called wettability test. It imitates the behavior of an impression material in the moist environment inside the oral cavity. The active surfactants in OliSil Hydro reduce its surface tension when exposed to the action of a liquid. The lower the tension, the better the material will be able to reproduce details in the moist environment. Other factors determining the quality of an impression taken include the resistance to tearing and deformations when removing the tray with the bonded impression material. OliSil Hydro meets these requirements, hence protects the smallest details of the impression. When working with asilicone impression materials, remember not to use latex and powdered gloves, because contact with sulfur compounds may affect the curing process. Bordelog is a special impression tray that acts as an individual impression tray in one-step impressions. Optimally matched shapes and sizes as well as closed rear edges allow for the necessary increase in the stagnation pressure of the impression material. As a result, the impressions are highly precise and consumption of the material is up to 40% lower. The set includes a size gauge, which makes it easy to select the right tray. In the case of the maxilla, measurement gauges should rest on the second molar and the second premolar from the vestibular side, and in the case of the mandible, from the lingual side. The measurement should be transferred to the attached template. Then, read the number of the tray and check whether the indicated tray does not press against the mucous membrane. Border lock should be covered with a special adhesive for silicones, which increases adhesion of the impression material. OliSil adhesive has been used in this case. The packaging includes a bottle with the adhesive and a set of application brushes. The short drying time of the adhesive allows to proceed immediately to the next stage of the procedure. We recommend Oli Orange for removing adhesive and impression material residues from impression trays. The product can also be used to remove remains of gypsum, cement and other impurities. The OliSil PUTTY XS packaging contains one cartridge with the impression material, mixing tips and a fixing ring. The cartridge must be placed in a mixing machine. All OliSil impression materials are compatible with standard mixing devices available on the market. The cartridge protection cap should be removed and discarded. The used mixing tip with the cured material will serve as a plug. During the first use of the cartridge, squeeze out approximately 2 cm of the material and discard it. This will allow leveling out the base material and the catalyst in the cartridge. The tray should be inserted gently and uniformly into the oral cavity, parallel to the entire dental arch. Any other method brings about the risk of multiple voids. Hold the tray in place until the impression material has hardened. The short curing time of OliSil PUTTY XS in the oral cavity not only enables faster work, but also guarantees increased comfort for patients. Impression accuracy depends primarily on the correction material. Hence, cutting out channels in the initial impression is required to create space for OliSil Hydro. The OliSil Hydro packaging contains 2 cartridges with the impression material, mixing tips and intraoral tips. The OliSil Hydro cartridge should be placed inside a dosing gun with a mixing ratio of 1:1. The cartridge protection cap should be removed and discarded. Attach a mixing tip and an intraoral tip. The used mixing tip with the cured material will serve as a plug. During the first use of the cartridge, squeeze out approximately 2 cm of the material and discard it. This will allow leveling out the base material and the catalyst in the cartridge. During correction material application both on the teeth and into the impression, the mixing tip should always be immersed in the material. This will prevent the formation of air bubbles. After complete polymerization, the impression should be rinsed with water, disinfected and sent to a laboratory. The snap set effect, as well as excellent detail reproduction and dimensional stability of the impression, guarantee perfectly matched prosthetic restorations. Visit our YouTube channel or our website at www.olident.com to learn more about all OLIDENT products.